The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WACK 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron 868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday on WACK 90.1 FM. The living room, casual conversations on serious topics.
What we are doing is that the beds have to become a little more beddy.
When it's a little beddy.
It has to become beddy.
I mean beddy.
Like beddy, like literally beddy.
That looks like a bed?
No, like it has to be that, I'll find a way to properly explain it anyhow. Let's just get into it. Let's kick off this program as we always do, all right? Must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
give thanks.
Secondly, we must say thank you to those that went before us. And we are not just talking about our ancestors, the original inhabitants of Trinidad and Tobago, because we all know, accept, reiterate, and they say it with the chest that Columbus lied. But also to our brother in music, Tony Prescott, where the P this week stands for
performance, right? Performance.
Who performing?
No. Tony P dressed up like he was ready to cut out on stage and perform now. Matching outfit, everything.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. He looked like I was supposed to pay him for seeing him this afternoon.
Did you?
Well, I'll pay him a compliment.
Did you pay him that at least?
Well, no, not out loud.
Then he should have. So you're owing him right now.
I owe him.
So next week, come by the station and make sure and pay up.
You getting that?
Right? If you don't know, this is the True Nation station, WACK 90.1 FM, where we are
culture crazy.
And this program is due to The Living Room with yours truly, DJ Aaron 868. I remind you each and every time that culture is my code, alongside my bro with no fro, but a lot of flow.
Ricardo Mitchell, the social sage on the global stage.
And we are here, we are back. I'm back 2 days in a row.
Yeah, so I'm taking the show last night. Kenny was missed. But you did a reasonable job of holding it down. Your panel was, enthusiastic and informed. One or two of the callers, they had some very salient points.
You didn't call last night?
Well, that's what I say. What, sir?
No, but last night's discussion was one I think that was needed to be had, and it's one that I think we actually need to continue inside the living room at some point. Probably with two female contributors on the topic. And I must apologize for it being a manel last night, but they were the persons who expressed interest and were willing to come in to do the interview at that time.
So it has nothing to do with the
proclivity.
I was gonna say the proliferation of men on your friends list.
No.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with that.
You see, God is really penalty swift and sure, You know how long I stumble over with?
Anywho, but tonight we are joined by
could have been for proliferation.
Could have been, but you missed the opportunity.
Yes, it's gone now.
Right? Tonight we are joined by the beautiful, effervescent, and ever-educated Dr. Karine Clay.
Yes, hello everybody.
Right? She has over 15 years experience in the mental health, specializing in clinical and organizational psychology. She completed her Master of Science and Doctorate in Psychology at Walden University in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and did her pre-doctor's and postdoctoral internship at public schools in Atlanta, Georgia. Her practice currently focuses on educational and organizational assessments and consultations in disability-related claims, psychoeducational evaluations, risk assessments, competence restoration, pre-operative clearance, pre-employment examinations, evaluations for behavioral issues, and intellectual challenges, ADHD, and autism. And just really quickly, she also provides executive coaching, solution-focused therapies, cognitive and outpatient psychotherapy for issues including depression, anxiety, trauma, and marital therapy.
Yes.
And that's that's just a piece, huh?
Yes.
So we are bringing somebody to talk about a very important issue. Right? So before we go any further, Dr. Clay.
Yes.
Now, if you have been listening to the living room over the past couple years, you would know Dr. Clay is usually the lady that we bring in when we want to talk about suicide. So she's no stranger here, but this is the first time that Dr. Clay has graced the stairs of WACK 90.1 FM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So before we go any further, not because you're in person means that you're going to get away from this. So we're not asking you, where's the scene? We're not asking you, where's the word? Not where's the word hummingbird? Or what's the gist? Psychiatrist.
Ooh, oh.
We are asking you, Dr. Clay, how are you?
Honestly speaking, I am really well. Seriously, I am well, Aaron. Things have been flowing really well, since I've been home, and this is home for me. And I have had the pleasure of seeing and meeting a great deal of individuals, children specifically, and parents within the community.
Not you, Ricardo.
So things have been going well. Thank you.
Ricardo just trying to ease herself in there. Did you come home for the carnival festivities or did you come home for business?
I came home mainly for business. I worked the entire time, so I didn't have the privilege of playing mass with the band that I always play with. I didn't get to, and I don't know if it's okay to mention their name. Oh, Paparazzi. That's who I always play with.
Well, you would be proud of that.
Yes.
Right? But I'm just asking just because, we are the home of culture here in Trinidad. We promoted 25/8, 367 days for the year. Did you get to attend any of the cultural shows or anything of the sort?
No, which was a sad part for me. But when I went to visit schools and things like that, to me, I was tapping into the real culture because I was able to be on the campuses and see some of the children play mass. And, I was able to visit a few special needs schools as well, which was really exciting for me anyway.
Okay. Kieran, this had anything to do with the project that you had? I know you had a gig that you said was the most meaningful for you of the entire season.
There's no relation.
Okay.
This is no relation to that.
But I did watch it. I did see it online.
Right.
Thank you.
So Ricardo, well, thank you very much, Dr. Clay, for making the trip. You know it's for business, but this is business too.
Yes.
But you actually got to experience the culture through the children, and they are the representation of what we have taught them, and they are also going to be the stewards that will carry on the culture to their generation.
Most definitely.
Right. Ricardo, how are you?
Well, normally I would say great like carrot and coleslaw, but this coleslaw has been in the fridge for a while. I don't know how great it is right now. 1 week closer to my reset in terms of finishing the project that I'm working on. I'm excited. I'm excited about being able to take a well-earned, well-deserved break.
You going on vacation?
No, I'm just going to take a couple days away
from screens.
Yeah, I'm going to go into do not disturb mode. Yeah, so it means whatever recording and editing, you need to get it done either before or after.
What's the time frame you're looking at?
Yeah, I'll probably go down for a week.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, that comes.
I have about 15 hours. I will definitely take it then.
You're getting that. You're getting that. Once you're not paying in food anymore, that just not cutting it.
Right.
Yes.
But and in true living room, Caro and Aaron, Grapho fashion, I'm going to throw you under the bus by preempting you. How are you with a note of how much you worked through the carnival? So yeah. Apparently, Dr. Clay was under the impression that you took time off.
I did.
The walks that she saw you on RP Avenue and that type of thing.
I walked on Arcade
well, you
Avenue.
took pictures of yourself and your
Yeah.
significant other, and I thought you were on vacation.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, so Aaron,
Yeah.
despite the false appearance of balance and resting, how are you?
Today I've been better.
Yeah.
I actually had for the first time since I've been living on my own. Today was the first time I ever experienced true water issues. Right, I got up this morning to wash and the tank was empty. So I spent the lion's share of my day trying to source water. And I must say that the bureaucratic red tape surrounding the legal process of procuring water, procuring a potable water supply,
Right.
is a very tedious one. I will not go into details as to what the exact process is, but it's a very tedious one that sometimes you may have to wait 48 to 72 hours to actually get a potable truck-borne supply.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes, Ricardo.
I'm trying to not be that guy.
Okay, right.
But
Please don't.
Sometimes that guy is what is required.
But that's not what we're here to talk about today.
I'm just curious what bureaucratic process in this place isn't tedious and complicated.
The ease of doing business in Trinidad is complicated, right? Anyhow, so after I got that sorted and got the water, then I realized, bam, all of a sudden, the fully water and a pipe loose.
Oh, for love of goodness. Are you serious?
So I had to clean up some water this afternoon.
Oh,
So anyhow, so that's how the day went, and that brought some stress.
understood.
But to answer Ricardo's question in terms of that balance and that I pulled off for Carnival, I'm not going to lie to anyone. That is something I would not suggest, that if you don't have a good support system behind you, it's not something I suggest that you do. Because I didn't say it last week, and I think I have to say it this week. Thank you very much to a very dear friend of my family, Miss David, who housed me for the entirety of Carnival weekend. And also any time that I had a job that finished late in the night, I was able to stay there. So I did not have to traverse down the highway.
Oh, that's
So
good.
thank you very much to her for taking care of me in that aspect. To my family for making sure mommy always sending food. And to my girlfriend for making sure that amidst all the work, I did enjoy some parts of the season.
Good.
And well, my little cousins, them who, I don't know, I can't keep up with these 20-something year olds. I can't. I can't. I played Juve with them this year. I can't.
Sorry.
Ricardo, come on. And I'm glad that came up there in terms of keeping up with the youth, because that's something that we're here to discuss today.
Yeah.
And not just keeping up with them, keeping them in your care.
Yes.
And keeping them in your care requires you to learn about them, for you to do things with them, to learn what may be wrong with them, and for you, if you realize what is wrong with them, for you to address it with the necessary care, concern, and help. See what I did there?
That was a great segue.
I'm kind of feeling like attacked.
How?
Are you suggesting that in order to maintain connections, I should spend time with, communicate with, and attempt to understand the youth?
Yes.
I think it's time we bring the professional into the conversation. I'm going to sit here and stew because I feel attacked.
No, but honestly and truthfully, the youth have cut down a lot of the things that we say, that we are accustomed saying, right? To abbreviations. AKT, sorry.
All kind of thing.
Is it for real?
Yeah, we still learning.
I need a dictionary.
We still learning, honestly. And today, one of the biggest problems, and not just among the youth, but also among adults, is illiteracy.
Yes.
And this, for me, is something which is a tad bit frightening. Because something as simple as that sign on the side of the road when you go approaching a corner that says STOP, which says stop, there's a part of our population that is unable to read that. And I think that is something that we need to look at properly addressing. So,
They see the symbol, they see the color, and they know it means stop only because of that.
There's recognition of
Is
readability.
recognition, exactly.
And I'm going to say not just repetition, it's regurgitation.
Yes, with rote learning, most definitely.
I didn't want to say the wrong thing.
That's not a wrong thing. But
Right.
yeah, but that's the reason how I tapped into stepping into this.
So
concerning, yeah.
Dr. Clay, talk to us first and foremost.
Mhm.
Why is addressing issues like illiteracy, before that, I'll go before illiteracy. What is dyslexia?
Oh, okay. Dyslexia is a specific learning disorder that is pertained to reading. Now, there's not only one, there's 3 different specific learning disorders, but we'll get into dyslexia. So dyslexia goes into where the person processes language differently. Their letters go reverse. Now, before the age of 7, we flip letters like B and D. Sometimes maybe P and Q, right? Before the age of 7 years old. Yes. Because you can see just from the shape of the letters why it can be flipped backwards and forwards. Someone who is dyslexic, even before the age of 7 years old, they're not only flipping B's and D's. I mean, literally their brain is seeing the letter Q, they'll change that to maybe a P. W's become M's or E's. Like words literally remove themselves from a sentence and travel around the page and things like that. Each dyslexic person is different. Their challenges are specifically with language, with words. So they have difficulty with identifying letters, recognizing which letter goes with which sound. They also struggle with blending those sounds. So stringing those sounds together to create a word, dyslexic individuals struggle with that. Now, each and every one of them are different. They have different patterns. So different letters might flip for each person. You know what I mean? And also, as they go along, dyslexic individuals have a wonderful memory. So when they listen to you read a book, they will memorize the book, and many of the children or adults will remember what that story is. They hold in the book in front of them and they are pretending that they're reading it. Actually, what they're doing is just regurgitating the memorized book within their mind, or what they think should be already there. So they give the gist of it.
So that's one of the reasons that it is a little difficult to detect, because
Exactly.
the memory skills would allow them to escape the notice.
Exactly. And many of them try their best to prevent anybody knowing. They would be like, Miss, I forgot my glasses today, or the fine print is so fine, mommy is taking me to go get my eyes checked, and different things like that. They will start making excuses. Adults also do the same thing, where they're like, my handwriting is like chicken scratch, so you write it for me now, so you'll hear them saying that.
The eyes giving trouble.
Exactly, all those excuses. Or the adult or the child, be it a secondary school or elementary school, will get in trouble so that they will be kicked out of the classroom during reading time. So the challenges are around reading with dyslexia. So either because they can't pronounce the word, they don't recognize the word, and they don't understand what it means. So basically, there isn't a picture that goes with each word. And dyslexic individuals, they need to have a picture in their mind to go with the word. So they literally take a picture of, say, plane, and there should be a picture of which plane are we talking about. Is it the plane that flies in the air? Is it the plane that goes over the wooden plank, to smooth it out? Or is it the planes, outside looking at a flat piece of land?
Planes in Spain. The rain in Spain is all mainly.
Oh God, I can't even remember that. But yes, with dyslexia, that is the main struggle is with that. But then we also have dyscalculia and dysgraphia, which is another.
I'm not going to say dyscalculia would be the one with numbers, right?
Yes, that's the one with numbers. Yes, so most definitely. And that so happens to be Dr. Clay has dyscalculia. My numbers, my first and last number, flips and actually transposes and changes spots. So needless to say, my bank accounts were constantly a little bit of an issue, because I always thought, wow, I've got $6,000. No, sweetness, you only have 600. So yes, so in college, I won't lie. We did a little bit of issues with balancing and bouncing a couple of checks in college because I thought I paid something and it wasn't there. So now, most definitely, that's why we have a CPA. I read numbers. So I prefer my numbers to be written word form.
Like how they do on checks.
Exactly. I do it in word form, but definitely, yes.
You look like you want to ask something.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Now I'm just looking at the challenge with dyslexia is not just about rotation, is sequential as well.
Yes, many of them cannot identify. Like if you scattered up the alphabet with a young person, early literacy skills, they are not able to sometimes identify it and put it in order. Like this is a W, or that is a D. Or that is a Q. Sometimes they can't tell the difference between an S or a 5 or even a 2. They'll write a 2 upside down thinking it is an S. So with many individuals who are dyslexic, we find that we have to utilize where they are learning to write the letters like in the air. So they get with the motor skills of the shape of the letter. Many of them have to learn how to literally take a picture of the word, the whole word. They have difficulties blending and identifying it separately. So they take a mental picture of plane, and then they have the plane, the picture of the plane attached to it. So many dyslexic individuals use picture dictionaries instead of just the words. But again, teachers and parents have to know early if this is the case. That's the reason why my practice, Higher Potential for Learning, pushes for screening, pre-screening, pushes for schools to do full assessments to see where the deficits and where the strengths are for children. Parents and teachers need to learn how to address that need. And that's one of the things that we are pushing for. Yeah.
Now, I'm coming with the hard question here.
Okay.
We know that teachers are some of Ricardo's favorite people. They're always in the top 3, right?
Ditto.
And the real question now becomes, with all the years of training that teachers go through, are they properly equipped to detect, deal with, and know where to direct persons for help?
Some of them may not be trained in that all the way. The reason why I'm saying that is within Teachers College, they give a sprinkling for general education, right? A general ed teacher learns, pretty much just a sprinkling of this is how we teach the kids in the classroom, but they don't focus on this is how you teach an ADHD kid. This is how you would teach an ASD or autistic child, or a kid with dyslexia or dysgraphia or dyscalculia, or a child with anxiety or depression. Many of them are like, we're not doctors. We're not supposed to be able to do all of this. And they're absolutely correct. But they should be aware and presented with information on at least how can I identify the flags. I don't expect teachers to diagnose. That's my job. But they should be able to say to a parent or to myself if I walk into a classroom, Miss, this child cannot sit still. They're constantly moving around. They're tapping their feet. They're very impulsive. Well, those look like flags for a kid with ADHD. Doesn't mean the child has ADHD, but because of the flags, we can now give him a full assessment just to make sure. But in that full assessment, even if he's not diagnosed with ADHD, we can find out what his deficits are. We'll be able to tell the parent and the teacher, here are his strengths. Here are the areas that he has gaps. This is where the learning intervention and support can be focused on.
Yeah.
But if you don't pre-screen or test or assess or evaluate a child or even an adult, you won't know what those are. So Higher Potential for Learning comes in with that, even in organizations as well as within schools and with parents. That's the goal, for us, is to increase that awareness. I always say, I just want to put a drop in the bucket. And if each of us did that, we can create a tsunami of change, because it's going to overflow with everybody making a contribution, and that's the push for us, regardless of the deficits.
Yeah, I've said several times that rain, even the most torrential rain, still only falls one drop at a time.
Hello.
Right.
Yeah.
And Now I'm here and I am fascinated by this field in its entirety
Mm-hmm.
because I'm also looking at the way that the behavior impacts the education process and the way the ability to learn impacts behavior. Because now you have disruptive kids who are trying to distract from the fact that they're not receiving the information in the same way, so they can't represent it. So instead of being called a dunce or a muck or
Right.
stupid or unintelligent, etc.
Hey,
All bad words, but yeah.
What I'm saying is, instead of being called that, they rather be called a troublemaker or a clown.
Yes.
They rather be labeled for their behavior as opposed to their intelligence
Yes.
or perceived intelligence.
Yes.
And what we're also seeing is that it's not just a matter of the performance, but now the overall confidence is impacted by the fact that they now have to create these whole personas around hiding a deficiency.
They're masking all the time, constantly, and that impacts their mental health in the long run. In the long term, those children will have low self-esteem. Many of them will have low confidence. They will have less resilience. So there is a direct link to poor academic performance, specifically literacy. That's why I push with literacy, because if you can't read, you can't do anything. Everything, math has reading. You know what I'm saying? Science has reading, social studies, everything has reading.
I read that math with them mood problem.
Yeah, exactly.
You've seen an SEA paper recently.
You talk about SEA, can you remember with common entrance when we used to have the questions, if Jim could paint a house in 5 hours and Ricardo could paint a house in 4 hours, how long they going to take to paint the house together?
Yes.
Why? Anyhow, the reason why I clamor just now at the names is because I know it has been issues before where persons would just tune in for that one segment and hear the names, and then they would think that we are
only talking about
right.
that one.
So I just wanted to just back up on that, because I want persons to know that it's not that we calling anyone any names, but it's just that was the examples coming up with what we are talking about, which is overall illiteracy and dyslexia within children, and what is there in place to deal with that. So I just had to put that disclaimer.
No, that is brilliant, because I'm of the belief that my granny and when we peel an orange, we put any peel to dry.
Yeah.
Right? We're using everything.
Yeah.
So even in this instance, I will use that to point out, if you sense offense at these words being used in a descriptive context, you can imagine how difficult it is for kids to process being called these things by the people who are supposed to be helping them grow and develop.
No, but we have just learned that there is a gap between the ability of identifying the flags, right? And I think that's something that needs to be addressed in the curriculum, not just with the schools, but what the teachers are taught.
Yes.
Now, admittedly, it's impossible, as you said, for teachers to diagnose, but to ask them on top of on top of teaching, but learning what you're supposed to be able to teach, the methods to teach, to also know to be able to identify these things. You're asking more of teachers, and then the flip side is going to be, we ain't getting no more money.
I know that's probably what it is that many people are ringing out, for us to hear, right? But I want teachers to know that the same strategies that they're using for what would consider a special needs child, and I don't like that word. We all learn differently, right? To me, everybody is neurodivergent. I don't see anyone neurodivergent.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't
not
see.
a movie.
No, not that one. Not divergent. Yeah, so bad. We all learn differently. So if saying that, if teachers were exposed to differentiated instruction, meaning being able to present information in different ways, and people get trained to do this. We come in to schools and do this with schools. If they learn how to do, they won't have to be like, well, do I have to teach you one way because you have ADHD, you a different way because you're dyslexic? No, the neurotypical children, normal, right? Those kids will benefit just as well.
Now go and say that,
Yes.
If that method of teaching was utilized when I was doing chemistry, I might have get a 3 instead of a 4.
Well, I don't know.
You
I
might
read it.
have.
I read it with you.
Yes.
No, because, and what I was going to say is, you just said the word differentiated learning,
Yeah,
right?
differentiated.
That immediately took me back to calculus when I was doing my degree.
Mhm.
And differentiation was one of the worst topics that I had to endure in calculus. Everything else was a breeze, you know? Basic differentiation, where you had to break down different things
Yes, and show them how
and show them how you
get
know.
the information. Yeah.
That was trouble for me. Because, as you said, if you're accustomed to learning a certain way, then the benefits of the breaking it down may help you. But there are others who will see that as, you had to slow down for that. 1 + 1 is always 2. Why are you slowing down for that? And not looking at the overall benefit of it.
Exactly.
Now, let's talk a little bit about this app.
Oh yes.
Because
Grapho game.
you download the app, Ricardo?
No, not yet. I'll do it when I get home.
Okay, cool. Because I just downloaded it, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna download it here, but apparently only change the password.
Like Kenny. He changed the password and going on vacation.
Oh my god.
Right? But
He's that kind of fella.
It's cool. I think he just wants me to reach out to him. I should probably reach out to
I
him.
don't think you should.
Anyway,
Yeah,
and ask him how he's doing.
I should do that.
Yes,
I
I
just-
think you should.
I forgot to take off the sound. Now, when you go, we will share the link
Yes.
in the description to the video that we will post after this interview is done.
And it's also on my website.
It's on
so-
Dr. Clay's website.
Yeah.
Higher Potential for Learning. Just
.com.
Google that.
Mhm.
And the website will be one of the first things that will come up. The
Yeah.
website, the Facebook page, the Instagram page. Or
Oh
Dr.
my
Clay
God.
all over on the socials.
Wow.
No, see, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
You have to meet the people where they are if you want this information to
Yes,
get
you
out
do.
there,
You do.
right? That's why Ricardo is on TikTok and he's do these the stare talk,
Stepisodes.
stepisodes. Thank you
That's what
very
I call
much,
them. Stepisodes.
right? So when you go
I didn't
on
make
the
it up. I didn't make it up.
just like Spanival,
No, I made up Spanish.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Why I didn't make it out? The heart on the bottom here was blocking it last night.
Oh, okay. I know how distracted by love you can get. So, anyway, this is me actively listening. You go ahead, Ira. Sorry.
He's really actively listening.
Yeah, boy. As one the hardest part with this regular.
He's really active.
Wow.
I mean, we have addressed some of the issues, so I think we should really spend a couple of minutes on one of the potential solutions.
Yes.
Right. So if you go, the name of it is the Grapho. That's Grapho game. And the reading is winning. You have to download the UK version.
Yes.
Most importantly, right?
Yes.
Real easy to download. If you're using the App Store or the Google Play, make sure your credit card working properly. Like, they won't let you download it without a properly working credit card.
But
Once it's linked to it. Once the card is linked to the account,
Yeah.
You mean when you have the store you're talking about for those who have the
Right, so I
store,
just had to put that disclaimer,
Yeah.
make sure your card is working
Yes.
properly and stuff like
But
that.
it's
right?
free.
But the app is free.
It's
There's
free.
no add-ons or anything.
No.
Most importantly, right?
No.
And when you download it, it's right there on your screen. I
Yeah.
just did that.
Yeah.
Let me put it to the camera to prove that it's there. You see it on the bottom right there, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Perfect.
And you open it, you set up your account, you pay your name, if you look for a pin, all these different things,
Yeah.
right? And you're inside.
Yes.
And watch, man, as soon as I open the app, it's very children friendly.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll send you some screenshots and
Yeah,
we'll
no
put
worries.
that in.
I mean, you can turn it around and show me now, you know. So,
Yeah.
Right?
But it's for children
It's children friendly, it's very colorful,
and adults
Mhm.
can use it as well.
right? And immediately they do a diagnostic
assessment. Yes,
test
they
and
do.
assessment to get you to identify the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you have your sound on or
Yeah.
headphones in.
Yes.
I can't do it because, well, we on air, so
We're
I don't
on
want
air.
Yes.
the songs to be going in the background.
It
Yeah.
evaluates where you are. It
Right.
meets you where you are. Wherever that person is, it meets
Right.
them there.
get mom a screen record and I will probably just do it myself later and
Yeah.
I'll share that to the YouTube video that we'll post to
Okay.
DJ Aaron 868.
And I also do a TikTok on this as well.
Alright,
Thank
nice
you.
one.
Right.
Thank you. That's awesome.
So, talk to us about the app. Now we know we know you did not develop it,
No, I did
right?
not.
So
It was done
we
in
have to-
Finland.
we have to give credit for where it was
Yes,
done.
in Finland, right?
Let me pull back up the write-up that you gave me
Please.
here.
Yeah, so that you can
But was developed in Helsinki, Finland, right? With a heritage of over 25 years of research by a team of linguists, neuropsychologists, and speech pathologists. It stands as a leading educational app that matches the effectiveness of one-on-one teaching. Thanks to higher potential for learning, that is Dr. Clay, It is now freely accessible to our community in Trinidad and Tobago, inviting children to enhance their reading skills while overcoming connectivity barriers.
Which means you can download it with the internet, but you don't need the internet to play it.
And for the kids who know, anytime you download or you purchase a single player game now, they still expect you to have an internet connection.
Nope.
Not a problem. You can play offline.
You more in touch with that? I didn't even know that.
Listen, Job. So this is why that is such a big deal, that you could use the system offline.
I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was an issue.
Listen,
that's a big
maybe
deal.
you should spend some time with the youths here, so you can learn how to connect and communicate with them, properly advise and guide.
I don't play COD or Fortnite or Roblox or any of those things.
No, do I. That doesn't mean I'm not unaware.
Okay, well, I honestly, this is news to me. I did not know that it required.
That is a huge use.
Just to download. Only to download.
Right, so
that's wonderful.
As we say in Trinidad, most importantly, this app is free, free. I don't know why we just say free 3 times,
but it helps.
But we just say it 3 times, right?
If you only say it twice, right?
They will think I missed it.
Yeah, I don't trust it.
Yes.
Serious? That's how bad you are?
If it's not free, but then you hold on to it. I mean, it's cheap.
Wow.
Completely zero. You have nothing to pay. Yes, most definitely.
So there's not even free 99.
No,
this is just free.
Right. Totally. And it meets you, regardless if you're an adult, if you speak English as your primary language or your secondary language, it does not matter. It will meet you where you are. Also, what I love about this game, it will also increase children's self-esteem because it celebrates and helps them recognize when they're successful, and it does not highlight weaknesses as, oh God, you failed. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you bombed out on that. No. They celebrate where the child is strong, and they will reinforce and support with interventions in the areas where the child might need reteaching. It goes back and kind of in a full cycle. So this is a place where parents are able to be like, oh, sweetness, look at what you're doing. Look at all of the rewards you've received with this. Oh, you've played this 20, 30 minutes today. Mommy is going to give you this because of what you've done. Teachers are able to utilize this in the school. Parents can check opt-in, where we're able to track the child's progress. Schools, if they wish to use this in schools and implement it, there's a teacher platform. There's all of these things they're able to do.
I realize that one is trying to.
Yeah, that we will train and get them trained in. So this is it. We're trying to tap into just the everyday person, but parents to have a way of not just children being bored or learning is stressful. This is a fun way for them to learn things that maybe are difficult for them to learn at school because of the way it's being presented at that time. So if they find that they're successful, and so that increases their self-esteem and their confidence, which in turn is going to help boost their mental health and psychosocial well-being. So it's a cycle, and we want the cycle to be broken with the negative part, and we would like it to be built more on the sense of positive. Increase literacy levels, increase mental health in a positive direction.
We could back up and go now.
Just saying, drop the mic.
We don't have anything else to say again. But what I loved in my brief interaction with it is, as an adult, the colors caught my eye.
Yeah.
Right?
As a visual learner.
It caught my eye. That's the first thing. And then the sound.
Auditory learner.
It was very clear. Right, so in my brief 5 minutes before we came on air with it, that immediately caught my attention, because for me, those are two things that I enjoy when I try to learn. I don't want to say bright colors, but
we're wrong with that.
But the appealing visuals and clear audio.
Yes. And the kinesthetic learner enjoys it as well, because literally, if you watch a child, even you, when you were doing it, you started rocking, you started moving, the music was playing, your head started bopping up and down. Yes, exactly. So you were in there, totally. So it taps in all 3 different ways of learning.
Now, one of these things that I've noticed, and I'm not tooting my horn here,
Mm.
but I want to tie in. No. You know, being a beacon of righteousness, like purity and justice, Aaron. If I
Oh,
was to toot
justice
my-
rich in there.
why not? Why not?
Just
Right?
know next week you'll come with a mask like Batman.
Hey,
God.
I'm night
His
fly.
language skills are increasing.
I'm night fly.
By osmosis.
The hero that Marvel deserves. Anyway, yeah. So,
See what I put up with here, Doctor?
Every day.
I'm a week shy of 700 days straight on Duolingo.
Oh.
Right, a week shy, and it is because it is simple.
Mhm.
And I don't mean easy. I mean it's simple.
Yes.
It's bright colors,
It's user-friendly.
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 Excellent, yes.
cartoonish characters,
Mhm.
little reward sounds when you get something right,
Mhm.
little rewards, little trumpets, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So when we talk about, it's encouraging to the kids, I don't
Adult.
I don't have to be a grandfather.
Yeah.
What?
Right? What I'm saying is that at 20, I could have a 20-year-old,
Mhm.
right? Who had a child.
Right. This is
What I'm
true.
saying is that I'm old enough to be a grandfather, and the bright colors, right, the cartoonish characters, the sounds, your body is programmed to respond to certain styles of reward.
Yeah.
And these apps can be very, very, very helpful in terms of staying self-motivated. I know it's geared towards kids,
Mm.
but the style is something that I've seen in other apps that are just as effective.
Yeah.
You know, as you're talking about that with something as simple as Duolingo,
Mhm.
I, as old as I still playing Candy Crush. I'm going to lie to you.
Yes,
Right?
ditto. I've got it right here. I can
And-
show you.
No,
I
and
can show you.
Candy Crush, they have this daily reward thing, right?
Right.
Yes.
And I make it my business every single
Yes,
day.
to make
If I'm
that.
not going to play the game,
Mhm.
I log in on
Yes.
to make sure at least get my daily
Daily
rewards.
rewards.
Right.
Because
And
otherwise you have to pay. So,
No, it'll drop back down.
Oh,
If
okay.
you miss one day, drop it back down by 5 days.
Oh,
so
God.
what I'm looking at is that if they use these well-recognized rewards in incentives,
Mhm.
right, to get you to play a game that is teaching you,
Mm.
this is the type of thing that a teenager who's embarrassed to admit the challenges that he's having or she's having, they could download
this,
the
yeah.
app
And play it.
and play it home,
But
do the thing quietly, the
when
same
you
way.
know, I want to add to that, Ricardo.
Mhm.
For the parents out there who use the devices
Mhm.
as a tool to get the kids to settle down while you handle your daily responsibilities, instead of putting in to sit and watch.
Wheels on the bus.
But I was going to call some shows.
Yo, I don't know if you have iron clothes money.
No, I was going to say.
I was going to say
instead
one,
of-
but I was
Instead of
I went like
just
this.
putting the kids to sit there and watch Cocomelon or
Mhm.
Peppa Pig
And the
or
most popular.
Oh my God.
or whatever or Dora or whatever it may be,
Jeez.
Views expressed by DJ.
This is
You
not
know,
followed by.
Aaron Williams.
download the
of
Grapho.
San Fernando. Shouldn't I rant up with you?
Download the
Stop it.
Grapho game
Yes.
and put your kids to play the
Exactly.
game. That is what I was going to say,
That's
Ricardo.
all.
Yeah.
Yes.
At least 30 minutes, they could go back to
Yes.
watching the shows after.
Yes,
But
30
give them a
minutes
30
day.
minutes of
Yes.
interactive learning.
Yes.
So
yes.
let's take a pause and interact with this caller. Good evening, you're live.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can I speak to you off there, please?
No problem.
Why I can't talk to you off there?
I said no problem. Go ahead.
Oh,
Hold on.
Yeah. Oh, well, look at that. So, what the point? Yeah, we could continue.
Okay, we can continue.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the angle that I'm looking at
Hello?
is it's not just
Yeah.
about early learning.
Right.
It's not early childhood. It's not
Right.
early childcare. It's not just early
Yeah.
education.
Mhm.
This is the type of thing that it has been designed for ease of use,
Yes.
right? It is reward motivated. I guess are there the same way we would log into certain apps to make sure that we keep coming back. Is that element to it, or is
Yes.
it more right?
It is. They do get rewards. It celebrates them when they go from one level to the next.
Yeah.
Like I says, it does not emphasize the failures. They emphasize what you did well,
Yeah.
and then they will reinforce the areas that they need growth in. They will go through step by step with those areas that they need growth in.
And I'm looking at the fact that the learning program that I'm
Yes,
using,
yeah.
they have AI
Duolingo, yeah.
that focuses on, let's say,
maybe.
helping you repeat weak areas and that type.
Yes.
They don't punish you, they don't
No.
ridicule you or anything, but they
No.
focus it to where they realize your weak points are.
Yeah.
That is great. I'm glad that this graphic game is
Yeah.
available.
Yes, you are.
But I also want to discuss the conditions under which it became available. So you
Yeah.
sponsored
this for Trinidad and
For
Tobago.
Trinidad and
Yes.
Tobago.
And I was exposed to this
Mhm.
actually in Jamaica, through Winsome Wishes for Kids. That's a nonprofit that brings me to Jamaica to do full assessments, to do pre-screenings in their schools. So Simone Sobers. So it was because of her, and she started it in Jamaica 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And I've seen its success there. And now Guyana is using it. STEM Guyana is also utilizing the same program. So, and you can go on to graphogame.com and you'll see all the different countries that are using this along with Finland. So we would like to see this throughout the entire diaspora because it is working for our kids. It's engaging them and it's making them step it up when it comes to literacy. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, parents, teachers. Well, good parents and good teachers. Definitely in my top 2 out of 3 heroes.
Always.
The third spot has always been floating.
For Aaron.
It's him. He's
Aaron,
in there.
I could safely tell you that you are at least number 7.
Mm.
At least number 7. Don't push our top 3 thing yet.
At least I the top 10. I the top 10. I
In the
can
top
live with
10.
that. I live with that.
And if you would actually deliver on your food promises more regularly, I know the people in charge of the ratings who might be able to adjust it. But anyway.
Yeah. Don't pick any kind. There's like what restaurants are around here. That's how it is.
I think one key,
Yeah.
A good roti or a good potapella and he good to go.
I'm looking for great doubles. I'm looking for the best doubles in Trinidad.
That's the gentleman to speak to, right?
Yeah, I really am. That's
don't
my
know about
goal these
the
days.
best, but I know where it could get great.
Yeah, really great. Yeah.
Mm.
I've been around several places and I haven't been impressed yet. So I don't know yet. We'll see.
Well,
Somebody will send it to my house. I'll tell them where that is.
Actually, no doubles delivery people too, but
Okay, we can talk about that later.
higher potential for learning right now is
Yeah.
definitely in my top 3.
Oh,
because
thank you.
to have sponsored this
Mhm.
for our country,
Yeah.
for our kids, I'm very, very pleased. I feel a sense of satisfaction.
Could I
Yeah.
add to that?
Yeah, sure.
Not just for the kids,
As those too.
for everyone.
Everybody, it doesn't matter. As
Because-
long as you're here.
And I'm going to say, because for me, one of the more frightening things is that there's a part of our population that's walking around that does not know
Mhm.
that they are dyslexic.
Yeah.
There's a part of the population, they know they're illiterate,
Mhm.
but they will not seek the assistance or the
Yeah.
guidance to get themselves
Yeah.
out of that position.
Yeah.
So this gives you the opportunity
Mm.
to deal with these issues
Mhm.
once you are aware
Yeah.
in private.
It's
Yeah.
discreetly, yes.
Yes.
And that's something important because as much as Trinidadians have FOMO,
Mhm.
we also have false pride and shame.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
So
and stigmas,
and- and-
attached to all of these
So,
things.
this gives you the ability, if you know that reading is not your strong suit,
Mhm.
download the Grapho game app.
Mm. To
and
help start.
This going to sound weird, but for the 30 minutes, you might be sitting on the throne on a morning. If
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying.
Okay.
30. All right.
I just say-
No,
But for the 30 minutes, you might be sitting on the throne on a morning
Mm.
instead of, oh, come.
You're
It might even be a hydration.
You're
thing.
deflecting. Yeah, come on.
This is fiber.
Yes.
Anyway,
This could also be that, you're taking that as a silent period before you start a busy day,
Yes,
you know what I mean?
exactly. You
right?
could do that.
You could, instead of reading disappointing sports news like
Yes.
about Manchester United
I'm playing Candy Crush.
or playing Candy Crush, play the Grapho game.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can.
For the kids, while you're in that 2-hour commute, sometimes if
Yeah.
you're going up or down the
Oh,
highway,
gosh, the bus.
put in some time on the Grapho game.
I surely rather hear I sure you rather hear your kids learning
Yeah.
than to hear somebody nonsense that is coming
Right, out of their mouth sometimes, yes.
Or that they may be ingesting with
With different things that are
Different-
on the
yeah.
internet, yes.
or the radio
They-
station.
But I want to definitely stress that there are programs within Trinidad and Tobago that are doing their part and contributing to increasing literacy within our nation.
Yeah.
So this could be added to that as well.
Added to that curriculum.
Exactly, for those small groups that need an extra reteaching moment, those small groups in class. We have the devices, the tablets, the iPads or whatever in schools, and they have the computers. If a teacher is working with another group, they can have where it's center time, and they can be utilizing that. Even Alta can utilize this with adults to build off of that. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we're dealing with the adult population where they're like, I know I need to be able to enhance my literacy and improve, but oh gosh, I'm a little bit embarrassed about doing kiddie games in front of everybody. So they may do this privately, like you mentioned, and they can have those successes personal for themselves.
And I say my example may have been askew, but my intention was well meant.
Iran, you have raised an opportunity for me to apologize, because instead of listening to understand, I listened and ridiculed. I am sorry for undermining your safe space. Your private time. Whatever you choose to do in that half hour, that was on you.
Yes, sir.
I want to apologize to the listeners too, because that was a very poor example of me. I made fun of something without understanding how significant it might have been to the person.
No, but it's not the matter, and this is something that we have to properly accept. That 30 minutes of quiet time could be the difference between somebody breaking down or going to address a situation terribly. So
you better
take that pause. Because if we talk in mental health, taking a break is very important.
Very important. Breathe. Take that pause and breathe.
Which is why I'm deliberate about apologizing for that. Because it might have been funny in the moment.
Yes, I understand.
And also for parents who may be having toddlers, that little break.
Oh, Jesus. Yes.
Mommy just need 5 minutes. Hey.
I remember those days. Yes. 19 years ago.
Now we just have about 7 more minutes. I don't know, Ricardo, I find when we in studio, the hour seems shorter than when we record it.
Yes, when you guys were online, I thought it was like, oh my God, it was nice and long, but this is really short.
Yeah, that's my fault. I'm very pleasant company.
Well, thank you. You make me want to come back again when you guys ask. I will definitely do
Well, we will have you back on before the end of the year.
Yes.
If you are back in the country.
Yes, I will be back again.
Because I think both Ricardo and I can admit we need to make it our duty to at least come in studio once a month.
Yes,
and have interactive sessions with not just the guests but with the listeners as well.
Yes, most definitely.
I miss the voices, and not only that too. There is something about coming together to have a discussion where you don't get to backspace your response. You don't get to mute your mic and check your phone.
Or Ricardo doesn't get to edit out.
Yes, all the extra stuff he doesn't want anybody else to hear.
The 20 minutes of his 30-minute monologue.
And joking. I can rant. I can't.
Right?
Just a tad.
But really quickly before we wrap it up, Dr. Clay.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us about higher potential for learning. How do we get in contact with the business? How do we, if we have to book sessions, because I see that you have a slate of services.
Yes, I do.
Which are available.
Yes, I do have many services.
We also know that, from judging from the accent, we know that you are not full-time based here in Trinidad.
Well, I am. My practice is here in Cuba as well as in Houston, Texas. So I do have it in both places. I see patients in Trinidad online or in person. I am here every 2 to 3 months according to my appointment load, right? So nowadays I'm here a lot, much quicker, like probably almost every month. So I'll be here again in April because I have several full assessments. So we will do a higher potential for learning. We do pre-screenings. We come in and do trainings for organizations, mental health fairs. We will do full assessments, all of these things. So, and there's a slew, like I said, when you go on the website, you will see performance management, organizational development, all these things, individual counseling, group counseling, all of these. Just go go on there and see higherpotentialforlearning.com. Go on the website, see what our services are. Call us. I am not saying prices online. I do not want to step on any of my colleagues' toes. So I would say definitely call in, and we will share that information with you, and all will be well. So, don't be concerned. So just give us a call. My phone number on WhatsApp, 702-528-1276. So you can WhatsApp me, text, as well as email. So all of the contact information is on the website. So please come on and connect.
And when you're calling, you are calling for business
Purposes only. Please and thank you.
And call at a respectable hour.
Yes. And if anything, it's the machine, the automatic.
Don't do like that guy that called me 5:30 this morning.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, we don't
I
understand.
know.
Not you.
I know.
If you call me 5:30, I know something is wrong.
Yeah,
with
that is
know.
definitely
Yeah,
an emergency.
But don't call me 5:30 to ask me how the highway looking.
Yeah,
I am not the TTPS.
Using Minister Works and Transport.
Unless you got my number off of, there is a hotline that I am part of in Trinidad and Tobago, and you have the hours of when I'm
the
billed.
TTPA.
Yes, TTAP, and it's the CIT, crisis intervention team. We do a hotline for anyone who may have any issues or concerns, and even when people call and they're just like, Dr. Clay, I'm going through whatever, can I chat with you? Most definitely, I stop and I will speak with that person, even via text, so I communicate with my patients, however, so yeah.
I want to implore, I want to beg, I'm pleading, check out the Grapho game. Please check it out. I'm speaking from a sensitive place. I don't want to talk about I know for a fact how much of the population is quietly struggling with illiteracy. I've seen countless excuses and reasons and people ask. I've seen, and it's not just illiteracy, right? There might just be challenges to learning that led to the illiteracy. What I'm saying is, do yourself a favor. If it's one thing, sit down very quietly in the couple of minutes that you have, check out the app. It might be the best investment, the best free investment you make in yourself. And don't let the fact that it looks childish make you feel, well, it's a little children thing. It takes a lot. It takes a very big person to admit that they need to start from scratch. And this is a very, very good scratch to start from. And I want to thank Higher Potential for learning. Dr. Clay, I want to thank you for putting us in a place where we could very, very quietly, very discreetly start a journey that might have intimidated people for their entire lives. I'm really, truly honored to be a part of this conversation.
Thank you. I appreciate this. Thank you, guys.
That's me there. Do you think?
No. Oh, yeah, go ahead on, dude.
Oh, yeah. No, this is Ricardo Mitchell, the social stage on the global stage. Thank you for joining us in the living room. Remember, guys, the hourglass is opaque. We don't know how much time remains, so whatever you're doing, be good and stay safe.
Dr. Clay, I want to thank you for reaching out to me to inform me that you were here and that you wanted to come in to have this conversation with us. Because we all know that mental health is something dear to us inside the living room. And to continue now to move from just talking about mental health to moving to a place of increasing overall literacy and addressing these issues like dyslexia, dyscalculia, and dysgraphia is something that we need to start to do. Because, they have this saying that hurt people. Helped people help people.
Ooh, yes.
Hey.
Write that down now.
Hey, listen,
Serious.
that's stolen.
Yes, I just said.
I'll do that on TikTok tomorrow.
Oh, you need to write it down because you might forget.
Right? Helped people help people.
Yes.
So if as an adult you realize that you are struggling, get help by downloading this Grapho app so that you can help a child who may be struggling as well.
Or an adult.
Or
you
a fellow
don't know
adult,
what you
you
don't
never know
until you don't know it.
Right? I always end by telling you that culture is my code, and I tell you each and every time that love is the currency, so spend some today. Let somebody know that you love them. Right? Up next is Mr. Desmond with the big band. We are out. Catch me again and Ricardo next week, Tuesday evening, same time, same place. I'm not too sure. Is one or two guests we're gonna have next week.
Right.
Either we're gonna talk about life-changing moments, or we're going and talk about what is our, as I said last night, our CVS, our
Stands for-
Carnival Value System.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right? So it's either a conversation.
Coining a new
Uh-huh.
phrase.
I might have an Olympian to bring in.
Oh, that must
Keyshawn?
He's not my big man.
Oh, okay. I see Keyshawn training again and I watching this man physical. Like,
This man just
putting it into the universe. It may be.
a future.
Ishan may be coming in.
A future
there.
Olympian.
a future, oh, okay,
Yeah.
a future Olympian. But we're not going to end with our future star. We are going to end with our current star in the form of Fauna Bigfoot
Mm.
with one of my favorite songs.
Mhm.
She's doing a cover of Kalyan's.
Oh, sorry.
Of Kalyan's Can You Love Me? If you want to do a cover of Fast Wine, I'm playing that as my ringtone. Vonette, if you're listening, I know you do a cover of Fast Wine now. Please.
Oh my
please.
God.
Attacking her in the
I
stomach.
can't wait to hear this.
I love this song, bro.
Huh?
I love this song. You got two versions of it.
Not the original real matter, but
Really?
Vonette is doing justice for it.